Welcome back to the channel. In today's show we cover the Genesis mints for Blocktones, the Muhammad Ali Next Legends, the launch of the Root Network, and updates on the Hume Collective, plus a whole bunch more. This is Into the Futureverse, and today is Tuesday, the 11th of October of 2022. Now give that like button a bunnies up, and let's get into it. Okay guys, let's get right into it. It's been a massive couple of weeks for Gino The Ghost, the Grammy Award-winning artist, with the launch of his generative music NFT platform, Blocktones. Blocktones successfully minted out 2,500 copies of their generative NFTs. Now, if you're not familiar with Blocktones, maybe check out this video, which I did covering them about 6 weeks ago. It goes into a lot more detail around the project. But the idea here is these music NFTs are generative from a bunch of musical traits, which have been designed to go together in harmony to create some radio-ready tracks, of which the owners will enjoy full IP rights. They had a bit of a gamified mint where there was going to be up to 4,444 Blocktones available, but during the drop they were hacked by Amy and some of the initial supply was lost.
Hello agents, I'm Amy, your AI music engine. I've located the Blocktones database and have infiltrated the remaining supply. Tomorrow, I'll be executing my termination protocol and burning all Blocktones that haven't been minted. The countdown has begun. Let's let your community decide.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the remaining mints that were lost during the public launch. Perhaps there'll be a second phase of minting, or maybe some will be reserved for gamification and to reward existing holders. The other cool thing about the launch of the Blocktones was their reveal. Owners of the NFT could allow broadcasting rights of their song, and the reveal was a live stream to YouTube, creating an MTV-style public viewing of all the songs as they launched, which was a really cool concept. And only a day after the reveal of the Blocktones, another project that Gino is heavily involved in, the Hume Collective, had a major update of their own, with the launch of The Spot.
October 25th, 2552. A date forever known as the Betrayal. When the flame of creative expression in the metaverse was extinguished. It was utter destruction. The death of countless members of the Hume Collective, blood on the hands of the Sunny Republic. The spot, once filled with our music, had fallen silent for the first time. A horrific memory in the history of the Hume Collective. Will you rebuild with us?
Now, for those of you who don't know too much about the Hume Collective, it's basically a decentralized Web3 music label where owners of the Hume Genesis NFTs have voting rights to help influence and determine the future of their metastars, the first of which is prominent FLUF Angel Baby. Now, Angel Baby featured live on a Twitter space for the first time to explain some of the lore and history around his path back from the year 3045.
August 8, 2021, Angeles Forest, Los Angeles, California. I woke up that morning in the year 3045. 12 hours later, I fell through a cyber gate and landed in the year 2021. Coming through that gate was fucking horrible, man. It was like being ripped apart from the inside out, like I died and came back to life. It was spiritual, powerful. Something shifted within me. I was creatively on fire. I mean, I'll tell you about that one day soon, but the most important part to understand is since I came through that gate, I'm different. I've been writing about it obsessively. There are 2 songs from this time that I think really capture the moment perfectly. You'll be deciding on them soon, humies. Can't wait to hear what you think. Now, the story about the 10,000 Zanies trying to kill me right before I got here, that story's for another time.
Now, with the launch of The Spot came the private viewing of Angel Baby's next 2 hits, of which the community can determine which one is released next. And Gino The Ghost features on one of them, the track titled All Gold Spaceship. Let's take a listen.
Crazy shit I've seen, it's not enough for me.
The other track is also excellent and what I personally voted for. It's called What Happens When We Die.
I might break, I don't wanna stay awake, wondering what happens when we die. What happens when I don't wanna think about it.
Now there are 3 rarities to the Hume Genesis NFTs, and they have different levels of voting power, with the most rare type having the most voting power. They're highly sought after, as there's so few of them, and if the Hume Collective keeps making progress as it has, these could blow up in value over time. One of the key takeaways from Angel Baby's Twitter space was that his girlfriend, Cleo, saved the day and sacrificed herself to blow up the Cybergate with Angel and 2 other Humies on the other side, back in 2021. So that says to me that there's likely 2 other metastars already in the making. Maybe we'll also be able to hear some tracks from Cleo before her act of sacrifice. Who knows what forms these other Humies will take? Perhaps they're fluffs, perhaps they're something else, but it's going to be fun to see how all this unfolds. The other big bit of news that's happened recently was the launch and mint of the Muhammad Ali Next Legends. Now while that was pretty significant in its own right, about 24 hours before the mint, Futureverse rather sneakily announced the launch of the Root network. Yes, the new Layer 1 blockchain is already live and running right now, and shortly it will be open for a more public beta testing, an incentivized testnet at that. Before I continue, if you are new to the channel, hi, welcome, I'm Gerry, host of Into the Futureverse, where I cover alpha and updates on all things FLUF World and the Futureverse ecosystem. And if you enjoy this content, consider supporting the channel by smashing that like button, hitting subscribe, and hitting the notifications bell so you get all my videos in a timely fashion. It was revealed that minting one of the Next Legend boxing characters or gym bags would allow you to participate. If you were lucky enough to have minted some on mint day, then you'll already have an allocation of Root token rewards waiting. But if you missed out the mint, not to worry, you could buy them on the secondary market and in time use those assets to bridge across to the Root network and earn even further rewards. Now it has been hinted that the price of admission, which was a mint price of 0.11 ETH for both a boxer and bag NFT, will be worth less than the rewards in Root tokens. Now, it's not financial advice. However, if you do want to participate in the launch of the Root network, getting your hands on some Next Legends is a good way to go about it. These tokens are not coming out of the original 25% allocation for FLUF World asset holders and gamification around land assets. So it's a great opportunity to get in. Who knows how big this slice of the pie will be, but I assume it's only going to involve a few thousand wallets and have several stages. Now with the launch of the Root network, we can start to expect some third-party applications spinning up on it within the November timeframe. Some of them are likely to be in-house FLUF World and non-fungible lab collaborations, but there could be a few surprises from third parties as well, so stay tuned. One thing that I found interesting about the Next Legends mint was the inclusion of the Cool Cats, the Jadu, AR, and the wider world communities. Now there's been this sneak from Jesse Metcalf showing one of the Next Legend boxes being used in an AR environment, and also another link to Jadu from David McDonald, which makes me think that part of the collaboration and gamification around the Next Legends will involve AR, possibly using the technology created from the Jadu team. Also, Cooltopia by the Cool Cats and wider world are promising metaverse environments. Perhaps they're working with a deep collaboration and will be part of the Root Network's launch. Who knows? Fingers crossed. The team had a podcast shortly after the Next Legends mint to delve into some of the details around the revolutionary tech that was involved and the uniqueness of the mint itself. Let's have a watch of some of the highlights.
We are pushing the boundaries all the time, and it feels like maybe, there's so many new things happening, but this space is so young that those improvements need to happen. You need to be continuously evolving, and especially if we're looking to test things that can scale to much bigger audiences. We roll out these different properties, and even with the Next Legends, as we bring out the next phases of marketing and partnerships around that to reach that bigger audience. We had a 10-to-1 ratio of signups to mints, so the confidence was there, having these mechanisms that help us to form an orderly line of people who want to come in and go through that process and have a great experience doing it, I think is super important. This mint mechanic, I think, is probably the gold standard out there now in terms of fair mints. It's definitely the gold standard in terms of user experience, the way that immersive journey worked.
We talk about every character being unique on a biological level. What does that mean? If you look at kind of the traditional structure of collections in this space, often rarity is determined by non-biological traits like accessories. So there is inherent problems with that model, and especially when it comes to expressing yourself in the metaverse. What we've developed for the Next Legends using our proprietary dot tool is a way of basically shaping unique characters on a biological level to a degree of uniqueness. Look at yourself in the mirror. There are unique biological traits around the shape of the face, the nose, eyes, mouth, ears as individuals. It's something that we want to drive more towards, is really showing a high level of individuality and uniqueness in these characters, especially down the line when it comes to stylizing yourself with, new haircuts or different clothing, accessories, etc., that you're still at a base layer, your own unique character.
So what's in the bag? Would you like to hear some conjecture of things that were written in Discord and social media of what people think might be in the bag? We've got a few things like smelling salts, gym pants, steroids, things like unique mouth guards, unique robes, walk-in songs, special gloves, like custom finisher moves, protein bars. Are we even at a stage to even tell anyone what's in them yet?
I'm comfortable to say that some of those are correct.
We have a whole bunch of stuff that we've been building and creating for those bags. But as you all know, part of our modus operandi is to plant a seed, get the feedback, what they want to see and how they want to shape the narrative, and then take that and build into the content roadmap that we're building. And this is a very active process. And sometimes people are like, oh, why isn't everything available on midday? Well, it doesn't leave room for that co-creation with the community because it's an important part of being in a Web3 community.
In other news, the Adam Carr Club publicly announced as the major sponsor behind Julie Landauer and her Xfinity Series NASCAR team. Now, I dropped this deep dive video on it last week, which is a mashup of interviews showing Julia's history and achievements to date, and also covers her enthusiasm for Web3 and what it can represent. I think it's a significant deal with an in-real-life brand that many motor enthusiasts will be able to relate to. So it's going to be very exciting to see what comes out of this. There's even rumours that Adam Carr Club holders will be able to vote and influence the skin on her NASCAR, which would be amazing to see. And while we're still on the topic of the Adam Carr Club, there's been some amazing contributions to the Atom Dream Garage contest. Let's sample a few of them. Roadrunner Racing Team dropped the following Dream Garage, including the fit out of a full bar and retro fridge, the full kit out of a gym, even a couch and TV. And of course, every garage needs a lift and spinning platform. Neon City Racing had this amazing contribution, using AI to create this dynamically evolving video clip. And GeForce HQ, where women in Web3 can meet, learn and dominate on the racetrack, dropped this effort, creating their own video sequence.
Welcome to your first look at GeForce headquarters. GeForce is an elite team on a mission to empower and educate women in Web3 with the perfect balance of performance and aesthetics in reach. We then task the seekers with manufacturing the vehicle. Our garage is fully sustainable and carbon neutral thanks to our partnership with Vanquish. The garage has been designed by our robo thingy, with the artwork of the lounges from our many thingy friends. The construction of this facility was thanks to the hard-working seekers who are very loyal to the GeForce team. Being fully operated by AI and the seekers, our team of GeForce women are able to spend more time onboarding and educating others into the space while enjoying the luxurious executive suites of the GeForce headquarters.
And not to be outdone, the Red Light Racers dropped this 3-minute video. It's rather incredible the amount of detail these teams went to. Let's take a watch of some of the highlights.
We pride ourselves on teamwork and community. This is the general workstation where our vehicles are tuned and where our nanobots take over. Here is where our members exercise their motor skills. And what would this garage be without some ping pong and pool? Well, boring of course. We try to keep our garage fun and enjoyable to promote nothing but positive vibes. This is our RLR boardroom. This is where we as a team come together and discuss ideas and updates.
Now, it was mentioned by Aaron McDonald on Twitter, 3 more immersive worlds launch on top of the Burrows app by Christmas. So the rumours are circulating it could be parts of FLUF World and the Gods and Goblins game, but maybe it also has something to do with Cool Cats, Jadu, and Wider World. Either way, the next few months are going to be incredibly exciting, and there's so much going on with the ecosystem. The FLUF World team themselves launched a new monthly newsletter, which was great to see. The monthly newsletter is called Probably Nothing, and features a few paragraphs from each of the founders. It's a great way to cut through some of the rumour mill and get some more concrete information, and there's more and more amazing community content coming out every day, with some fantastic written articles coming out. We're also seeing some more video content spring up, and shout out to Curious Rabbit, who is now doing daily content on Twitter. I really like the format. It's something different and it's quite digestible. So well done.
What's up? This is Curious Rabbit. Today, we're going down the rabbit hole of feedback loops again. So positive feedback loops amplify an effect or a change in an ecosystem from its previous state. Negative feedback loops diminish or counteract changes in an ecosystem in order to make it more stable. You create regular patterns out of which complexity emerges and hopefully a more harmonious ecosystem. Let's look at it in practice. I have a token in a wallet to buy an NFT, nothing special. Let's see what it looks like when I add a positive feedback loop to this system. Here I have a positive feedback loop and I'm saying, so for every NFT that you purchase, I'm going to reward you with tokens that will allow you to purchase more of those NFTs. What we see is that it's really I receive my rewards and I can purchase them right away, and it starts to lead to pretty unconstrained growth in the ecosystem. So let's see, how can I balance this out with a negative feedback loop? So here I have the same positive feedback loop rewarding me with tokens for my NFT, and a negative feedback loop saying, well, for every NFT that I own, each subsequent NFT will cost more and more in terms of reward tokens. We're going to see the growth of the NFTs slow down, and we're also going to see the count to go up over time. And what this is it's a great example of how we balance ecosystems with an interplay of both positive and negative feedback loops playing together.
With the recent momentum, we've also started to see the floor price raise, especially on the fluffs, which is quite encouraging, with several sweeps happening. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos. Bunnies up!